NC State's game with Florida State wasn't even over when my Twitter timeline started to fill up with questions. Hey Joe, does this mean we're going to lose to Syracuse? Hi, I'm Joe Giglio for the News and Observer, and here's your answer. No, NC State's not going to lose to Syracuse on Saturday at Carter Finley Stadium. And I've got 2 reasons for you why. Number 1, NC State's not as bad after a big win in football as they are in basketball. In 2012, NC State beat Florida State, the number 3 ranked team in the country. Very next week, they beat Maryland. In 2011, NC State beat Clemson, the number 7 team in the country. The very next week, they beat Maryland. Yes, I hear you. Joe, Maryland's no longer in the ACC. But Syracuse, Maryland, kind of the same thing if you really think about it and their fans and how they all act. So it's probably not a bad thing. The second part, and this is the biggest reason, and you have to think like an NC State fan. Think about your own team and your own program. When NC State pours it out against a name brand opponent, which Syracuse did last week at LSU, they lost 35-26. When that happens, when you don't have commiserate talent with the elite teams, it's very hard in the next game to duplicate your effort. Think about it. 2014, NC State plays the number 1 team in the country, Florida State. They lose 56-41. It was closer than that score. But the very next week, they lose at Clemson 41-0. Go back to last year. They poured it out in that Clemson game by every definition. Played as good as you can play. But they lost in overtime. The very next week, they sleptwalked through a 54-13 loss to Louisville. So here's what I'm saying. Syracuse is NC State. NC State is one of those teams now. Okay? Here's another stat for you for Syracuse. In 2015, the last time they played LSU, they lost at home 34-24 in a close game. The very next week, they lost by 21 points. To some great crazy juggernaut? No, to South Florida. So there you have it. My final score for Saturday, NC State 45, Syracuse 24. For the News and Observer, I'm Joe Giglio.